former FBI Director James Comey posting a bizarre video confessing his fandom for Taylor Swift while taking swipes at President Trump.
You see, Taylor Swift and I go way back. I went to my first concert of hers 15 years ago. She's made clear that she sees Donald Trump for what he is. And last year, she urged Americans not to make the serious mistake of electing him. While our elderly makeup-covered president is posting about whether Taylor Swift is still hot and declaring that he can't stand her, what's she doing? Living her best life.
Literally what is happening. Joining us now, Michael Duncan and John Ashbrook, co-hosts of the Ruthless podcast. Guys, I have to show you just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Watch here from James Comey.
I bet you got pushed around. Somebody made you cold. But the cycle ends right now, because you can't lead me down that road. You'll be glad I didn't sing that. That's right. Because down that road is unhappiness. Nobody should have that power over us.
Michael, let me start with you and find out how you took this over the weekend.
Well, I guess I would say, Dana, that it makes a lot of sense that Jim Comey is a fan of Taylor Swift. He's the only person more dramatic than a teenage girl. And I think what the kids would say is he has this main character syndrome where he somehow makes himself the center of everything that happens in America. And I think, like, it's time for America to say to Jim Comey, we are never, ever getting back together.
John, John Comey says that he and Taylor Swift go way back, even though there's no evidence the two of them have ever met. He also says he's in a family group chat for Swifties. Your thoughts?
Well, I mean, just when you thought the internet couldn't get more bizarre, Jim Comey says, hold my beer, and then what seems like writes a script complete with verbal tics to make it seem like he's delivering something authentic, revealing something about what his family does, a text chain about Taylor Swift. I mean, I just can't take that guy seriously. I don't know how anybody can take that guy seriously.
One of the things that happened, Michael, I mean, and this was serious, when he posted a photograph of seashells on the beach that said 8647. The authorities didn't take too kindly to that. And it does it reminds me of something from when I was back in the White House. Or actually, I was at Justice Department. I can't remember exactly where I was. I was there a long time. When Comey goes to Ashcroft's bedside at the hospital, when there was this goal to re-up the terror surveillance program. And you made a good point, Michael, about he does like to be the center of attention. And now I'm thinking, now that whole episode makes a lot more sense to me.
That's what I'm saying. It's main character energy. This is what the kids say. I've learned this. And it's everything. Remember the election in 2016 where he had the dramatic press conference about, Hillary Clinton's private email server. And I think it's incredible. It's main character energy. I don't know why he feels like anybody wants to hear from him now. Why can't he just go away?
Yeah, it all started when he became famous for trying to take down Martha Stewart, and he just never stopped. That appetite for publicity never stopped at all. I also think there's something a little bit deeper here, that you have some people who are bureaucrats within our federal government who actually think they're in charge, who think they're the most important thing in our government, who think the voters don't select the president and put the president in charge. And it is a really, really bad thing. It's what leads to people throwing sandwiches at cops. And it's what leads people to thinking that, everybody wants to hear their ideas on Taylor Swift.
Yeah. We'll stand by and wait for his next video, whatever that ends up being. We do want to ask you guys about the crime crackdown in Washington, D.C., the Trump administration touting some of the early success with it. U.S. Attorney in D.C., Judge Jeanine Pirro, was on Fox News talking about some of it. Take a listen.
He wants to make D.C. safe and beautiful. And part of my appointment here by the president was to follow through on that initiative. And the federalization of the Metropolitan PD is something that I think is a great thing, because I have sat in the meetings with all of the law enforcement agencies, with the mayor, with the Metropolitan Police Chief, Pamela Smith, and the agenda is very clear.
John, some people have said Democrats are kind of falling into a trap here by opposing trying to clean up D.C. What do you think?
Yeah, I have no idea how President Trump pulled this Jedi mind trick on Democrats to make them the party who's on the side of violent crime. But that's exactly where Democrats are today. It makes absolutely no sense. But from a practical standpoint, look at what they've achieved in such a short period of time, over 300 arrests since the beginning of the crackdown. And D.C. does feel safer. I was just in the city over the weekend at a ball game with my daughter and her friend. I don't think I would have gone had Trump not done that crackdown.
And Michael, here's what Pam Bondi said. Not only were there the 300 arrests that John just mentioned, she said just last night our federal and D.C. law enforcement partners made 68 arrests and seized 15 illegal firearms. Homicide suspects, drug traffickers, and more are being charged. I'll continue to stand with you as we make D.C. safe again. Now, that's just in the first week. There is some criticism coming, to be expected a little bit, that there are higher crime areas where you do not see the presence yet, but they've only just gotten started.
Yeah, I mean, I think our president knows what it takes to keep D.C. safe. And I think, it's only been a week. We have to see what these stats look like in a month or in 2 months. And I think, Democrats aren't going to believe what the Trump administration ends up putting out. But they got to stay laser focused on this because we have a problem in D.C. with crime. And I think if you gave truth serum to all these Democrats, they'd agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep, they have to live there too, and so does their family and staff. So thank you both. Great to see you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for being on Newsroom.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.